What's cracking, percolating? What's really good in the hood? Here's your man Theo Butler. Ooh. Before we begin, like, share, subscribe. If you like, leave a comment. If you don't like, leave a constructive comment. Ooh. So y'all if y'all coming in, y'all already This is a comic book channel. this is a superhero channel. I try to stay away from certain topics, even though I do have my opinions. I do have my opinions. I try and stay away from certain topics. I do, because I understand you. It's 2023, but this still low-key cancel culture time, so you gotta kind of be careful what you say. So and plus, it's enough Jonathan Majors coverage out there. I think it's safe to say. I think it's enough Jonathan Majors coverage out there. So hey, why do I need to get involved in it? That's a great question. Why do I need to get involved in Jonathan Majors, since there's a lot of people already covering Jonathan Majors? Well, after seeing the footage that's making its rounds around social media, I can tell you what I saw, but we can all see the same thing. 10 people can see the same thing and see 10 different things. So I understand that can be what it can be. I do. I can see certain tendencies in what transpired. I can. I can see what he did. I can see what she did. Doesn't mean you're going to see the same thing. Even though we could be looking at the same footage, it doesn't mean the same thing. But Theo, why are you doing the video? Because you said a revealing discussion. I did. Might lose some people here, but that's okay. I never professed to be perfect. I haven't. Never did. I said I made mistakes. How many times y'all done heard me say on this channel, I ain't perfect. And been wrong before, I'm gonna be wrong again. I have. Sometimes in society, I might be guilty of it myself. Sometimes I try and watch it. We get a holier than thou attitude. What's going on, Kamoya? What's going on? We get a holier than thou attitude. We lack empathy in regards to certain things. You can't relate. I understand it, but that's because we're in a built-in prejudice or built-in biasness. What you have to say to yourself is, no, let me put myself in that person's shoes, whether it be male, female, black, white, Jew, gentle. Let me put myself in that person's shoes. How many of y'all remember the movie A Perfect Time to Kill? It's official. Rock With Me Nation moderators in the building. Samuel L. Jackson was in that movie. Father, daughter. I have nothing but girls. Nothing but girls. And I want to say at that time, I just had my oldest. I know it was a movie, but that's happened too many times in real life. And I asked myself, I said, Theo, what would you do if it was your daughter? Well, we don't have to think about that question because that question actually got asked in the movie. Shout out to Matthew McConaughey, by the way, for an outstanding performance, both he and Samuel L. Jackson. As a matter of fact, that whole damn cast, Charles S. Dutton was in that movie as well. And Matthew McConaughey, his closing argument to get people to be empathetic in that small town, to get people to be able to relate, because there were fathers in the jury. There were parents in the jury. That had daughters in the jury. He knew that wasn't enough to get them to be able to relate, because it should have been. That movie, just being a parent should be enough, wasn't enough. Just being a father should have been enough. He knew it wasn't going to be enough. No, he needed to get them to switch places with Samuel L. Jackson's character. Those of y'all that never saw the movie, Samuel L. Jackson is black. His daughter's black. The defendants were white. So, but the jury, well, I'm just going to say that jury wasn't a reflection of the character that Samuel L. Jackson played. That wasn't a jury of his peers. That was a jury of somebody else's peers. That's American history. Matthew McConaughey realizing that they were not his peers. And I don't think anybody that looked like me wrote that movie. I don't think anybody that looked like me wrote that movie. Great movie. But for Matthew McConaughey's character to get the jury to buy in, he told them the story about what had happened to the little girl. And then he said, now imagine if she was white. You know, there was a boy that had came down south, visit some relatives. He didn't really know how things operated down south. And some woman lied on him. And some men, this is American history, by the way. Some men came to his home where he was visiting. There was no T'Challa, were no Doras, there were no Hatuts that Isaiah's around, none of that. So there was nobody really to stop them from acquiring that little black boy. And they killed him. That's American history. They killed him. Fathers went into another father's home. And killed another father's son. They knew it was a lie. Nobody could relate. Nobody could be empathetic. Nobody at all. Yes, Emmett Till. Nobody could relate. Even to this day, 2023, there's quite a few people that can't relate, don't want to. No different. Jonathan Majors, Grace Jabari. You ever been in a relationship before? Been in quite a few. Ever been in a toxic relationship before? Nobody wants to have that conversation. You know, there really are no innocent people in a toxic relationship. It's toxic. It takes two people to be in a toxic relationship. I've been in a toxic relationship. No man is proud of being in a toxic relationship. No man is ever proud of saying that he's been in a toxic relationship, because if you admit that as a man, then you got to admit some other things, some things that you're not necessarily comfortable with as a man, some things that you don't necessarily want to speak about as a man, some things that could get you ostracized as a man, some things that can get you canceled as a man. It's really hard to find a victim in a toxic relationship, because honestly, both parties are victims. Victims of not knowing who they are as a person. Victims of not knowing their worth. Victims of not knowing that not only do they deserve better, but victims of not knowing that they should be better people. It takes two people to be in a toxic relationship. It takes two. You can't be in no toxic relationship by yourself. It's impossible. But one of the uncomfortable, well, because there's quite a few, that if you have been in a toxic relationship, you've done some things that you regret. You've done some things that have went against your upbringing, regardless of whether you come from a two-parent household or a single-parent household. You can get taught every day, all day, twice on Sunday to have respect for your fellow man. You can be taught all day, every day, twice on Sunday that you should never put your hands on a woman. You can be taught all day, every day, twice on Sunday that you should never raise your voice to a woman. You can. You should never swear at a woman. You can be taught all that. You can have that literally drilled into you. And all of that flies out the window in a toxic relationship. It does. And as a man, you've done all of it. Society want to act like you shouldn't, but the woman has done it too. Regardless of everything that she's been taught at home in regards to how she's supposed to conduct herself, how she's supposed to treat her man, all of that has flown out the window in a toxic relationship. And it doesn't matter who the instigator is. It really, really doesn't. Both sides are going to forget their home training. They are. The difference is that it's going to hurt one person more so than the other, because one person is going to realize that's not how they were taught. That's not how they were raised. It's kind of hard to have a daughter, which Jonathan Majors has, and justify being in a toxic relationship. Because what you're tolerating, you're teaching her to tolerate. And as a man, that's not a good look. And you know it as a man. Don't matter how much you feel for that woman, how much you care about that woman. At the end of the day, you know, primarily speaking, as a single father, because you're not married to the mother, you have to be the image that your daughter looks at. You have to be the one that takes her on her first date. You have to be the one that spoils her, treats her with respect, even when you're at your angriest. You have to watch what you say to your daughter, because when she goes through the circle of choosing her man, her mate, you want her to be able to look at her mate and only tolerate from them what she got from her father, the worst. You want that as a man. Men aren't perfect. They fall short. Jonathan Majors was in a toxic relationship. Something occurred that night that told him he needed to put distance between him and Grace Jabari. I don't know what that was. Not finna act like that. What I do know is, based on the video footage, he wanted her to go home. Get away from him. I'll pay for it. Take her wherever she need to go. I'm good. She didn't want that. I know, because I've been in a toxic relationship before, where I have been in a position where I have went against my home training. And I have regretted it. And I carry that burden every day. I can't wash that off. I don't know what the female is thinking. I don't know if she even cares, but I know the role that I played. I regret every bit of it. I can't wash that stench off. I can't. When how I was raised, when how I was taught, it wasn't. Now I can say that I've only been in one. That was one too many. What I lost, it's taking a minute to get it back. But when you in a toxic relationship, self-respect is one of the things that it takes a while to get back. Self-worth is one of the things that it takes a while to get back. Because if you don't get it back, you subject to find yourself in another toxic relationship, because you don't know what a good relationship is. The narrative is going to get twisted, as it already has. But common sense, I put that on Twitter, hashtag common sense. You see a dude running from a woman, you talking about the dude who, you talking about Kane? Because Grace Jabari that big. She that big. Common sense, I just beat your ass. I'm not trying to put you in no vehicle for you to go home. That's you by yourself. That's you can pick up the phone. That's you can call anybody and tell anybody what I did to you. No, I beat your ass. I'm pretty much trying to watch you all night. I'm pretty much trying to keep you with me so you don't go tell nobody. That's what I'm trying to do if I whooped your ass. Now, if he whooped her ass and was trying to send her home, see, I didn't say he didn't or did it. If he whooped her ass and was trying to put her in a vehicle where she could go about her damn business, he one of the biggest damn fools I know. That's on top of him being in a toxic relationship. You don't send her home. No, you keep her right there. Now let's flip it. Because that's what Matthew McConaughey did in A Time to Kill. He flipped it. Because it's people that's going to check out for either gender reasons or they're going to check out for race reasons. But it's going to be people that's check out. Okay, let's remove the race. Let's remove the gender. Let's say that's a white woman trying to put a white male in a vehicle. He doesn't want to go. She's trying to get him to go in the vehicle. He doesn't want to go. She's telling him to sit down. You can see her motioning in the video. You don't hear any sound. You see her motioning for him to get in the vehicle. He resists. She runs away from him. He runs after her. Does that change your mind? It shouldn't. If it did, you being a hypocrite. If that scenario just changed your mind, you being a hypocrite. You have some inborn biases, some inborn prejudices that you're not addressing. That scene, me flipping it like that, should not change how you feel about that particular situation. It should. You should feel the same way. Whether you feel this way or whether you feel that way, you should feel the same way. If your feelings about that video change just because I said, act like, visualize, it's a white woman trying to get a white man to sit in the vehicle and he doesn't, and she could be pushing. If we need the visual of her physically putting her hands on him, we can have the visual of where she's putting her hand on top of his head and she has her hand in his chest, pushing him in the vehicle. I can give you that visual. Does it change anything? That's a rhetorical question. It ain't for me to answer. Chaos is the antithesis of stability. Your home is a sanctuary, but not an asylum. Terrell Austin, she chased Majors down. Terrell, that's crazy. RC on the Aces. Caitlin, God forbid, in a toxic marriage and someone gets hurt really, really badly. Exactly. I had a toxic marriage. No, there is no pride in it at all. Not at all, Grand Madam. Not at all. Connoisseurs, triple salute. KK, D. Steezel. Yes, sir. We're in the building. Yes, sir. Kamoyo Kid, CTS, what's good? Grand Madam, hey, D. Steezel, Connoisseurs, Rock With Me Nation. Rock With Me Nation is in the building. Absolutely. Emmett Till is actually who I was referring to. Been a whole lot of unnecessary cap going on in that courtroom, but JM going to come out. I'm hoping so. I'm hoping so. I'm personally sick of this. JM versus Grace trial in the covers, but I'll make an exception for Theo's take. Appreciate it. Thank you so much, Kamoyo, because I had been staying away from it. I see other people that I feel like are invested more so than I am, regardless of for whatever reason. I see more people that are more emotionally invested. So I'm like, hey man, hey, everybody got it, you do your thing. But even with that being said, I don't believe people are going to get deep inside of it and peel away the layers to just dive into. I don't believe that, because that's too hard. You got to be willing to reveal yourself. You got to be willing to be vulnerable when you don't want to be. And in all fairness to not only Jonathan Majors, but Grace Jabari, I feel like people that have been in toxic relationships should be the ones speaking on it. That's what I feel. I feel like people that have been in toxic relationships, that know what that's like, should be the ones speaking on it. Because as I said, No one in a toxic relationship has done anything that they're proud of. You haven't. If you've been in a toxic relationship, there are things that occurred in that relationship that you're ashamed of, that you're embarrassed by, that you're hurt by. Nobody's talked about it like that because too many people want to see it when she's a white woman, or he's a black man, or she's a woman, or she's a man. They're two people. They are two people. Now, if you want to be open and honest, have a transparent conversation, then you got to take race out of it. You got to take the gender out of it. If you're not willing to do that, then you're not willing to have an honest conversation. Yes, he did have his hands on her. I saw that. I did. I've also been in a toxic relationship before where the police had to get called. I called them. Now, here's the sad part. Remember I said that toxic relationship was with one person? It was over a 10-year time frame. The police got called more than once. I was always the one that called. Well, I was always the one that called. You know why we call the police? Because you've been taught at home, if something like that happens, call the police. As a man. And you know what you've been taught also after you call the police? To remain calm. Because you know when the police come in, they coming in regardless of what her ethnicity is, regardless of what her race is, they're coming in taking her side. They are. And if you cannot do a great job in being articulate in stating what occurred, she has any marks on her whatsoever, you going to jail. They don't care who started it. They don't. They don't care who threw the first punch. They don't care who threw the last punch. They don't care who got cussed out first. They don't care who got cussed out last. You could have bruises on you. They only locking up one person. And that's what you've been taught as a black child, as a black boy, as a black son. That is what you've been taught, regardless of what that female's ethnicity is, regardless of what her race is. It don't even matter what how light you are as a black male or how dark you are as a black male. It don't matter if you call yourself black. It don't matter if you call yourself color. It don't matter if you call yourself Afro-American. It don't matter if you call yourself African-American. It don't matter if you call yourself Haitian. It don't matter. Your black ass going to jail. And every black man knows it. Don't mean we haven't been in our fair share of toxic relationships. That just meant we rolled the dice. Every black man knows it. Now, that don't mean that every black man cares, but every black man knows it. He does. So the video footage of him running away. What for? Why would he need to place her in one vehicle and he get in another? What for? Why would he snatch away from her? What for? I was a legal specialist in the Marine Corps, by the way. If I typed up your court-martial package, you was going to the brig. And it was left up to me whether or not I typed up your court-martial package. If I threw it in the trash, the CO went with what I said. It was up to me whether or not you went to a court-martial or whether or not you went to non-judicial punishment. It was my call. As an E4, as a corporal in the United States Marine Corps, I had majors that trusted my call as to whether or not you went to either the brig, whether you stood in front of the commanding officer, or whether or not it was up to your troop handler to handle it. That was my call. I was entrusted with that. And that was my call for you, whether or not you were an E9 or below. It was my call. It was Corporal Butler's call. The commanding officer trusted my knowledge of the letter of the law and my ability to be empathetic with all those involved. Well, I'm empathetic with the toxic relationship. I'm empathetic in regards to whatever physical altercations occurred that evening. Video footage don't lie. It don't necessarily tell the whole story, but it don't lie. You hurt. You hugging somebody. Well, I know how this plays out. You bleeding. Ain't nobody got time for a discussion. You a Caucasian woman. Normally you getting rushed off to the hospital right then, right there. You walk over to 3 white people and 2 of them are male. Historically speaking, there's supposed to be video footage of another physical altercation between them and Jonathan Majors. Because cats like that, they like it when the numbers are in their favor. That never occurred. You went out dancing. There's video footage of that. Well, if you went out dancing, because I went out dancing after having a broken nose, not from a domestic issue, but because I went outside to go play pickup football and we ain't had no shoulder pads on. So I broke my nose. I went out to the club too. But you know what? That means that nose didn't hurt that bad. That means I didn't give 2 damns about that broken nose. That means it was more important for me to go out and kick it with the fellas at the club than go to the hospital and see about my broken nose, only for me to wake up the following morning, Sunday morning, with 2 black eyes. That's when I realized my nose was broke. But the pain, I didn't give 2 damns. I went to the club. As a matter of fact, I did have 1 black eye. It looked like he was getting black. I put some shades on. Let's make it do what it do. I did. Well, you went to the club. He went home. Clearly, there was somebody more bothered about that night's affairs than anybody else, and he went home and stayed there. The police were able to find him at home after he beat your ass. After he beat your ass and attempted to put you in a vehicle that was going to take you to your home, he went home, called the police, and stayed there where he could be found at his home after beating your ass. That don't make sense. That literally don't make that don't follow like that line of logic. That's not what that is. If somebody beats your ass, and then I got to look at video footage of him running from you from some blocks. Like, he ain't just run, turn for a few feet, turn around and yell at you and say, "Leave me the hell alone." I know some people that would have did that. He ain't run a few feet and after you chased him, turn around and hit you in your snot locker. I've seen that happen before. No, that's not what that was. He literally ran. He ran and bent a corner, and you almost got hit by a car chasing the street, running behind him, and you bent the corner behind him. Like, who? I don't know who was running for their life. It looked like he was running for his life. That don't look like he beat your ass. It looked like he's afraid you might whoop his ass. That's what that looked like, because he kept running. He kept running. He kept running. Like, no fight or flight. There was no fight. No, that was straight flight. He was out of there. And you kept going. I don't even know how to look at this, because I know how people gonna twist it. You literally almost got hit by a car. You didn't even look across the street. It was more about you getting with him. The only reason why I can think you chasing after him like that, because I know Charlemagne the God didn't got chased like that. I'm being petty. The only reason why I could think that you chasing him after him like that is you was finna whoop his ass. Like, no. When folks chasing after you like that, that's normally what that is. They fisting to whoop your ass. Or you're in a toxic relationship and you realize that you're in a toxic relationship and you're done. And you tell the person that it's done. And you say it's done like you've never said it's done before. They don't believe you, because folks say they done all the time in a toxic relationship. Nobody delivers, by and large, for the most part. But the other person, male or female, female or female, toxic relationship, when that other person say they done, oh, they know. Well, that's not normally how that goes. When the other person say they done, you in a toxic relationship, the other person ain't trying to hear that. Yeah, they'll yell. Yeah, they'll cuss. Call you out your name. Run up on you. Put you in a position where you got to defend yourself. And it's hard to defend yourself, restrain somebody without leaving bruises. Because when somebody coming at you, what restraining mean I got to grab you. And if you coming at me with your hands, that mean I got to grab your wrist. If you trying to bite me, that mean I got to grab you by your neck. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Either I grab you by your neck, I put my forearm up under your neck. These are all the things that occur when you're in a toxic relationship. People bite each other in toxic relationships. All people scratch each other in toxic relationships. People slap the hell out of each other. Backhand, forehand, all that happens in toxic relationships, whether it's two men, it's two women, or a man and a woman. Everybody is putting hands on everybody. They are. Nobody wants to talk about that. See, you're not going to hold Grace Jabari guilty if she's been physically abusive to Jonathan Majors. That's not what we do in our society. We don't preach that in our culture. We don't. And I'm talking specifically American society, American culture. She could have very well have been the aggressor. We're not going to do that. You see the lengths that the DA is going to right now. Well, it ain't just him, and it ain't just her, and it ain't just Jonathan Majors. No, that's what that is. Nobody cares. You're the man. We've heard this before. If you're my age, a little bit younger, a little bit older, you can't go complain to somebody about being in a bad relationship. You can't, because they'll tell you should have made a better choice. You can't go complain and say to somebody that your baby mama, the mother of your child, is dragging you. They'll say it's your fault. You should have made a better choice before you slept with her. It's these shoulders get heavy. They do. They do. What's the deep discussion? He deserves the benefit of the doubt, at the very least. We say innocent until proven guilty, right? Right. Well, there's quite a few people that have already went out their way to say that he's guilty in America. Imagine that. have a whole judicial system sitting right there. And we will go on social media, not sitting on the jury, not the judge, not the attorney. We will weigh in on it, and we will tell you whether or not that person is innocent or guilty without thinking about the influence that we have on people that's rocking with us. Now, so I didn't cover it for a reason. That's one of them. The other one is I would have to be vulnerable to talk about this topic. I would have to peel back the layers and let you take a closer look at who I am. So, for clarification purposes, and this is one of the things that you don't want to acknowledge as a man who's been in a toxic relationship, because it's never going to sound good. You can never defend it. You just have to be prepared to take it for what it is. Have I put my hands on a woman? Yes. Am I proud of it? No. Am I ashamed of it? Absolutely. Would I want my daughters going through it? No, I would not. No, I would not. If I had to do it all over again, would I? No, I would not. No, I wouldn't. Because it don't matter. It don't matter what society says about you as a man. When you've been in a domestic situation, when you've been in a toxic relationship, society's opinion of you doesn't matter. Yours does. Yes, baby. I'm in the office. I will never feel good. I never feel good about that. I'll never be proud of it. It'll never be something that I brag about. It'll never be something that I'm comfortable discussing. It'll never be something that I really want to use as a teaching moment. I will really want to keep that part of my life right there. But what I would say to men, younger men, Nico Bean, Ronnie, you should never have to raise your voice to the woman that loves you. Notice what I said. Notice what I said. You should never have to raise your voice to the woman that loves you. Definitely never your hand to the woman that loves you, unless you're going to slap her on her behind. That's it. That should be it. As far as how you're going to raise your hand to your woman. It should be slapping her on her behind, telling her how good, how sexy she looks. That is it. As a man, you should never have to use a profane word to the woman that loves you. Not saying it's not going to happen, but you shouldn't. Yes, baby. In the office.
You doing live?
Yeah, baby, doing live.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. What's going on?
Nothing.
Okay.
I finna go cook.
You finna go cook?
Yeah.
Okay.
And eat pork chop.
Okay, baby.
Okay.
Hey. Remember that part where I said you got to know who you are, what your worth is, what your value is as a person? Because you're not ever going to get that in a toxic relationship. You can't spend too much time demeaning each other. Spend too much time belittling each other and telling each other what you cannot accomplish. That's my rock. We're not perfect. We're not. But she loves me and I love her. If I slap her anywhere, it's on her behind. You hear me talk about her in these videos more than a little bit. You've seen her in the videos more than a little bit. You've seen the stuff that she's created in the videos more than a little bit. I did not know what that type of relationship could be like until I got out of a toxic relationship. So fellas, vet the female that you are looking at. Put more significance on what's in here than what's out there. This 2023. That out there can either be gotten in the gym or it can be gotten to a doctor. You want this. This is what matters. This and this. This and this. This and this. This and this. And this whole thing about you got to have this, that, and the third. No, if she coming to you in your mid-20s, you ain't got it all. She's supposed to be there to help you get it. You got to be smart enough, mature enough to see that for what that is and understand that if she wasn't there, you wouldn't have it. Or at the very least, you wouldn't have had it as soon as you got it. So that queen that helps you build the kingdom, you don't shortchange her for nobody. You don't shortchange her for nobody or nothing. But you'll never know what that's like if you don't appreciate the value in you. Because if you don't know who you are as a man, if you don't know your worth as a man, how you going to be able to appreciate the worth of a woman or another man? You're not. You're not. Keep it. K Dot in the building. What's good? What's going on, K Dot? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? So the deep discussion, everybody plays a part. The video footage, like I said, it's not consistent. I've been in the top. That's why I'm doing the video. Because I've been in a toxic relationship before. You have people that have been in that have never been in a toxic relationship speaking on the video. You have people that have been in toxic relationships not gonna act like that and will act like they've always been Mr. and Mrs. Goody Two Shoes in relationships. No, I've been in a toxic relationship. Ain't nobody finna tell you that. I've been in a toxic relationship where there has been physical violence. Both parties. Ain't nobody gonna tell you that. They're afraid to. That might hurt their image. Well, my image is built off of transparency. My image is built off of accuracy. Not about being right, not about being wrong. It's about being accurate. Well, I've been there. And quite a few of us have. We know how we conduct ourselves. There are those of us that will be watching this video, that have watched that video, that have been in domestic violence situations, toxic relationships, where they have either been the victim or the aggressor. Now, whether or not they're going to shed light on it is two different things, because we got to remember, everybody got their built-in prejudices, their built-in biases. You have people that have been the physical aggressor in toxic relationships, and they know exactly what they're looking at, and they're going to come out and tell you something different. Deliberately tell you something different because of those prejudices and because of those biases. I've been in a toxic relationship. I've called the police. As a black man in a toxic relationship, I'm saying black man, Afro-American, colored, whatever you want to say. That black man is not calling the police unless he's absolutely confident he's right. damn what he can prove. Damn what he can prove. He not calling the police unless he know he right. He not calling them unless he know he right. Cause he know right off the rip, they show up, it's him. It ain't her. He ran. He was running. Now, regardless of who anybody is, if they've been in a toxic relationship, they've been in a domestic violence situation, if they played the role Jonathan Majors played, they know why they was running. Now, whether or not they're going to tell you the truth is something totally different based on their inborn prejudices or their inborn lies. But those who have been in a situation and they were running, they knew why they was running. They knew why they backed away. And normally, the aggressive person is not the one that's backing away. The aggressive person ain't the one that's running. It's not. So I don't know what you want me to tell you with that. Now, can you be trying to restrain an aggressive person? Can you be trying to forcefully put an aggressive person in a car, in a vehicle, so they can get far, far the hell away from you? Yeah, you can. But when you see that aggressive person ain't finna budge, and you realize you might be getting ready to take it to another level, he is bigger than her, then what do? You turn around and you haul ass. That's what you do. You turn around and haul ass. You know what the video footage ain't getting? Because we can't hear it. Her probably screaming his name the whole damn time. Because that's what winds up happening. Don't stop running, come back, listen to me, please, I didn't mean it, we can fix it, we won't do this again. Yeah, that's what winds up happening when somebody yelling at your ass, when somebody running at your ass like that. Ain't nobody saying nothing. No, if they had audio, you'd be surprised at what you'd be hearing. If there was audio of her chasing him and what was being said, you might hear him say, leave me alone, leave me the F alone, get away from me, you crazy, you done lost it. You gonna hear all that, but you don't. Well, normally the person that's running, that's saying that stuff, that's not the aggressor. That's not the person that initiated it. At least that time, at least that evening, the altercation that led to them at the vehicle, I'm not saying he ain't initiate some other stuff. I'm saying that night he wanted to be left the hell alone. He didn't even go to the club. She went to the club. He didn't go to the club. He went home. Now, I can tell you why he didn't feel like going to the club, because he was fucked up in the head. Because you've never been in a domestic violence situation before. You've never been in a toxic situation before. You've never done something that goes against your training, your beliefs, how you were taught, not understanding that it hurts a man, because that's no different than him putting his hands on his mama. That ain't no different than him being physically abusive to his daughter. And every man knows it. You come home, you got to make peace. And you ain't just making peace with yourself. You asking for forgiveness. You feeling like you done disappointed quite a few people that came before you, that raised you as a man. You effed up in the head. You are totally screwed up. You know what winds up? Well, I hope it work out for him. I really, really do. I'm hoping everybody get the help that they need. That's what I'm going to say. He has his Megan Good. I got my Megan Good. My Megan Good came along at the right time. Seems like his Megan Good came along at the right time. Now, what I can say is this. You got to appreciate your Megan Goods when they come along, because they don't come along often. You got to appreciate that ride or die when she right there, because the Megan Goods come along when I'm saying Megan Good. The Alicia Butlers come along when you at your lowest. That's crazy. They see the you in you that you've been struggling to see in you the whole time you was in that toxic relationship. You never saw you. They come along and they see you. They see you for who you truly, truly are. Yeah. See, to have conversations like this, you got to be willing to be vulnerable. I'm not there. But look, that's my time. I'm out. We could say this was what a week it was Wednesday. That wasn't my intention. My intention was to speak truth to a situation that I don't believe is necessarily getting the coverage that it should, the attention that it should. I appreciate my Ashanti. I'm holding on to her right like a hubcap on the highway. Majors needs therapy. Definitely. If he had it, he wouldn't have been with Grace. No, he wouldn't. But is he guilty, or is she guilty, or are they both guilty? I would have never took the case. That's a great question. Is she guilty? I wouldn't have never took the case. If you're asking me, is he guilty of domestic violence? Then I got to look at the letter of the law. And if the DA wants to push that, which I don't think the DA is, because I think it's going to hinge on that particular video footage, because that's what the DA introduced as far as proof. Defense hasn't been able to rebut. But as I alluded to before, you and I can be looking at the same thing and come away with two different opinions. From my opinion, did he put his hand on her? Yeah. Was he trying to push her, place her into the vehicle aggressively? Yeah. But I'm going to ask more questions than that, though. Why? See, if you Grace Jabari, you got to tell me, why was he trying to put you in the vehicle? That's the cross-examination that's going to get real, real ugly, because if I represent Jonathan Majors, I don't give two damns about prosecution. I don't give two damns about Grace Jabari's gender. I do not give two damns about her ethnicity. I don't give two damns about her race. I don't give two damns about her nationality. I'm going to drag her ass, and she's going to have to explain to me, with that video footage sitting in there, we will understand he's placed. Why is he trying to get you in the vehicle? I honestly am not even going to address what occurred earlier in the evening, because if that's the video footage that prosecution is hanging their hat on, hell, I could be a first-year law student and destroy that whole damn thing, because she would have to explain to me, why was he trying to put you in the vehicle? The next question, why are you chasing him? That's the next question. You're hurt, aren't you? You're injured. Your ear is bleeding. This is the video footage of you running down. I don't see you holding, grabbing your ear. I don't see you holding, grabbing your face. I don't see you holding, grabbing your neck. I see you holding onto your jacket with one arm and pumping up and down with the other arm while you chase my client for several blocks down the street, cross the street, where you almost got hit by a car, and around a corner. Why were you chasing my client? Seems like to me, if my client was physically aggressive with you, why didn't you go to the hospital? When he was trying to place you in the vehicle, why did you not stay in the vehicle and tell the driver, regardless of where he told you to take you straight to the hospital? Why not? If you were in so much pain based on what my client did to you that evening, which I'm guessing either took place before the video footage of y'all being at the vehicle or while y'all were at the vehicle, why did you find your happy ass, can't say happy ass, why did you find your way at the club? Why did you not seek immediate emergency attention? Why did you not seek immediate medical attention? Why were you at the club? Now, I'm not a pathologist. I'm not. But I do know that alcohol causes blood to flow more freely than it would if you did not have the alcohol in your system, and yet you went to the club. Now, I'm not a medical student. I'm not a medical student, Mr. Jabari. I'm not. But I have gotten drunk a few times. I have consumed my fair share of alcohol. So you went to the club, consumed alcohol, knowing that you admitted that you were injured, that you were bleeding. You went, consumed alcohol, which can cause you to bleed even more. And at no point in time did you think about contacting either the local authorities or did you seek medical attention? But you had enough time to chase him down the street, cross the street, almost get hit, and round the corner. Who was physically aggressive in that moment, Mr. Jabari? You or my client? Who was the person adamant about continuing this scene? You or my client? Who contacted local authorities? You or my client? Who went out to celebrate that night for whatever reason? You or my client? Regardless of what took place, based on the video evidence that we have from the club, who was bothered about that night's events? You or my client? No further questions. No further questions. I'm not the one to do that with. I'm not. Because if I look at that video footage, I'm prosecution. You know what I got? You know the only thing prosecution can do with that video footage is talk about him trying to place her in the car. That is the only damn thing prosecution, if that's what they're hanging their hat on, that whole video footage, which people have seen from multiple angles, the only thing they can hold their hat on is him trying to place her in the vehicle. They can't, and I've been taught, you never ask questions as a lawyer you don't have the answer to. You don't do that. They can't explain why she was chasing him. They can't explain why a woman who was just on the receiving end of a physical altercation, who is seriously outweighed by the defendant, they can't explain why she was chasing him. They can't. They can't explain that. They can't explain why she didn't stay in the limo and go get medical attention. They can't explain, go get immediate medical attention. They can't explain that. They're going to have to dive deep into her psyche, and nobody wants to do that because she's already been portrayed as a female that's one half of a toxic relationship, and nobody operates in their right mind in a toxic relationship. So she guilty as hell. They both are. But see, like I said, I wouldn't have never took the case. If I'm taking the case, I'm ordering both parties to therapy, individual therapy. I would have never took the case. The district attorney needs to be fired for incompetency and using his platform to elevate his career, waste the taxpayers' times of New York, and wrongfully go after celebrities. He needs to be terminated and never be allowed to practice law again. That's where I'm at with it. That's where I'm at with it. He needs to be fired. But how do you get him fired? if you're in New York, watch this. Rock with me, nation. Rock with me, nation. Black Panther fan group. Recast T'Challa. You see how I'm doing it? How do you get him fired? Well, I ain't in New York. Where the protesters at in New York? Every day, Jonathan Majors, not protesting the trial, but protesting the district attorney. Where is that at? Where is that organized unified front to get all the phone calls down to City Hall to get his ass up out of there? Where is that phone call? Where are those where are the emails saying that he got to go? Where is the call, the public outcry from black people, period? But it's going to have to be right there in New York to get his ass removed. Because that's a thing. You can't, the public does have some say-so when it comes to elected officials. When you, as public, believe they're no longer competent in carrying out the performance of their job, you can get them ghosted, i.e. up out of office. But you can't just talk about it. No, we got a lot of black leaders in New York. No. I ain't finna act like that. We got a lot of black leaders in New York. They know what it takes to get that dude up out of office. Watch this. Pressure bust pipes. How he finna focus on successfully doing a case and he worried about his job? See, that's chess. That's chess. You attack on multiple fronts. Okay, well, if he's been deemed the enemy and black folk feel like he's unjustly, unfairly come after one of them, okay, so what are black folks prepared to do about it? I didn't say run up on the dude. I didn't say physically threaten him. I said get his ass up out the office. Okay, where them emails at? Why the phone ain't ringing off the hook? Where the multiple black periodicals covering the case to say his ass need to go? We got a whole recast T'Challa. Okay, well, where is he got to get his ass up out of office? GoFundMe account at. Hey, his ass got to go. Where's the organization to get his ass up out of office? Where is it where he's knowing, based on what he's doing, his ass won't be back? Because that's an elected office. You don't just get to be the district attorney. That ain't that. No, that ain't how that works. Y'all got confidence in him? If you don't have confidence in him doing his job as a district attorney, she had to go to that club to get that next drink. Exactly. So, mad clout chasing going on. Kevin John. So I'm just asking that question, like, talking is only good enough to come up with a plan to put into action. Talking is supposed to be, to a degree, always a call to action. You either want somebody to think about something, think about doing something, or go do something. Well, he in New York. He ain't the only black person. He ain't the only black person in New York. It's quite black folk feel like the district attorney is wrongfully going after the brother. Okay. You're right. I ain't saying you're wrong. I'm just saying stop talking about it. Stop talking about it. Make it hard for that brother to do his job. Let that brother know, yeah, we see what you're doing. Yeah, we're going to get your ass up out of here. That's any public official. Ain't nobody life got to be threatened. They like that money. They like that power. Okay, well, that's when you let them know. You know what? That power finna come to an end. That free Medicaid you was getting, yeah, no. You finna have to get out here and get a job. You can't do this no more. Okay, well, you right there. You right there. I can only. Now they say that's my superpower. I don't know. I've been told that talking is my superpower. I don't necessarily say yay or nay. It is what it is. I didn't took the classes though, but you right there. You right there. Make that dude think about it. Damn, I got a case to prepare, but I don't know how I'm going to be district attorney after the next election. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. Listen, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. I do. I really, really do. You could have been anywhere else this evening, but you chose to be here. You went with that and everything, and it showed up, showed out. I'm gonna check these notes real quick, but y'all did. Y'all ain't have to do that. There ain't really was no notification out there. Majors needs therapy. Let me get it. I appreciate my Ashanti. Yep. She had to go get that exactly Theo mad clout chasing. Man, I really do appreciate y'all rocking with me this evening and everything like that. Hopefully, the message that I tried to give was received the way that I intended it to be received. Even then, they are trying to label you as threatening when you are working hard not to. Nah, boy, look. if I knew then what I knew now, there are just some women I would never have gotten with, and it would have been as soon as they said one or two words, I'd be like, ooh. True story. True story. I'm gonna let y'all go. True story. I'm gonna let y'all go. True story. I'm gonna let y'all go. Avoiding toxic relationships one-on-one. So, another reason why I don't, well, not another reason because I'm married, but no, I was doing the dating app thing, blackpeoplemeet.com. It was blackpeoplemeet.com. It's one of them. Met this sister, chocolate thing. She's chocolate thing. She was a chocolate thing. To me. I'm not knocking anybody else. To me. And she was attractive to me. I'm not knocking anybody. To me. I thought she was all that in the bag of chips. I did. To me. Everything was where I wanted it to be and everything like that. She didn't stay close. No, your boy had to go. She didn't stay close and did not have a vehicle. I had the vehicle. She had a house. I had an apartment. My apartment was nice. Her home, she was doing what she could. We was both doing what we could with what we had. She didn't stay close. So I would drive. She had a son. Autistic. Cool. Driving. Go. She stayed like a couple of hours down the road from her. She did. And I was that dude. You can say whatever you want to say. I'm a nice person. I am. I got my issues and everything like that. But if I'm rocking with you like you rocking with me, like you rocking with me, like I'm rocking with you, I'm gonna make it do what it do. You feel what I'm saying? Let's go get something to eat. You feel what I'm saying? You bring man to the house. We kick in everything. Hey, listen, man will play some video game. Your boy got the PlayStation 2, 3. Man have fun and everything. We kicking the bobo. Boy, look. We had a conversation. And I don't know where that conversation went left. But somewhere along the line, I got called a bitch. And I was like, whoa. So somewhere along the line, I got called the B word. And I was like, wait. Now, after certain relationships, I had said to myself, I will never, ever be with another woman who refers to herself as a B or has no issue calling me a B. I just won't do that. So I got called the B, and I said, "Oh," I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Yeah, you know what? Let me get off the phone." What? I got called the B. I got called soft. I was told I wasn't a real N. I got told all that. And I asked, I said to her, I said, hey, I said, the way you talking, I said, if I talk to you like this, what would wind up happening? I would tell my brothers you called me a bitch and they would come beat your ass. That was her response. Game over. Yes, Grandma. If I talk to you the way you talking to me, what would happen? I would tell my brothers and they would beat your ass. But your brother's perfectly fine with you talking to dudes like this? Yeah, because they think every dude I'm gonna be a real nigga. I don't want to be a real nigga. I didn't say that to her. I just shook my head because I was like, yep, see, that's part of the problem right there. You want a real nigga. I see myself doing a lot. I aspire. That's the word. I aspire to be a lot of things in life. A real nigga has never been one of them. Like, I don't even want to be a fake nigga. Like, y'all might laugh. I just have never heard somebody use nigger nigga. Sorry. I've never heard somebody use the word nigga and it's in an endearing form, regardless of however they meant it, because I'm an English major. When somebody call you a wild nigga, they saying you wilder than a regular person. That's not a compliment. When they say you a smart nigga, man, you a smart nigga. They're not saying you're a smart person. They're saying they're actually surprised you smart. When they say stop playing nigga. Well, they could have easily called you by your name. No, they felt like because you playing on another level where them calling you by your name is not going to get you to stop. No, they need the nigga in you to stop. That's not a compliment. That's a pretty little nigga. You mean as opposed to just being a pretty little boy? Oh, you surprised he pretty? Damn, nigga, how you afford that? You surprised somebody that look like me can afford that? Like, I'm not understanding. What's going on? What's going on? So it be certain things I'll be like whatever. I've said this to people, they be like, Theo, no. I'll be like, no, use whatever in a sentence and make it positive. They're like, what? I'm like, no. When somebody telling you whatever, they really just don't give a damn. Like, use it in a sentence and make it positive. Where you want to go eat? Whatever. You okay? Whatever. You can't use whatever and make it sound good. Never. Whatever, whenever, however. You're being indifferent. You really don't give two damns. How these clothes look on me? It's whatever. It don't work. It don't work. But listen, that's my time. I'm out. I appreciate y'all. I have never seen women run that fast for a man. Listen, Miss Kent. I did the video tonight because I wanted to talk about being in toxic relationships. I don't think folks have really delved into that side of it in regards to the Jonathan Majors case and everything like that. So having unfortunately been in a toxic relationship, I wanted to speak on it from that particular angle. But to your point, like I didn't been that dude that tried to leave. Where you going? I'm done. You walk out that mother if you want to. I can laugh about it now, but I didn't have to call the police because I ain't but 5'8.5", and I'm not pressed about my height. I'm not pressed about my height because I prefer my woman to wear heels. I said my woman because I own her, she owned me. I prefer my women to wear heels, and as 5'8.5", I've dated women that's been 6'2". I've taken women out publicly. That was 6'2". I don't care. So my wife, I 9 times out of 10, because my ego was what it was. Most of the females was my height, if not taller. Like, I don't know what that is to date, but my wife is 5'2". So, but the female that I had to call the police on, she was taller than me. She 5'10". She 5'10", and she wasn't gonna move. She was standing. We had got into it, and I said, I'm done, and I said, I'm finna go, and she stood in front of the door. She didn't move. I would move to the right, she would move to her left. I would move to my left, she would move to her right. Now, so I told you how tall she was. I did, but so I probably need to give a better picture. So Serena Williams, like, she wasn't no small woman, is what I'm saying. She wasn't. She wasn't no small woman. So she was in front of the doorway. She wasn't moving. How y'all think that went? how y'all think that went? I've dated women that just physically looking at them, you would be concerned about Grace Jabari if they got into a fight with Grace Jabari. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Like, that's a powerful woman. I'm just saying, like, that. I like what I like, and my height ain't got nothing to do with it, and neither does yours. I've had to literally be told by some female, I don't date short guys. Oh, you don't? Have you ever been climbed by a short guy? I'm sorry. That's inappropriate for this channel. But yeah, so that was kind of what was going on. That wasn't that. See, Serena like 5'9", boy, you was messing with. I'm just saying, like, I like what I like. Like, oh, she was a whole. I'm just saying, like, I like what I like. Like, that has been me since high school. Since high school. Like, when I graduated high school, I was 5'8". I don't know where the half inch came from. I was 5'8". My wife, my ex-wife, my first ex-wife, she was 5'8.5". And depending on what side of the room we was on, you couldn't tell who was taller. And before her, the young lady that I was dating before her in high school, she was 5'11". I was still 5'8". She was 5'11". She was 5'11". And then I told y'all about the female that was 6'2". The female that was 6'2" was built like Serena too. Like, I low key got a type. My first ex-wife was built like Serena Williams too. Matter of fact, the majority of the women that I've dated in my lifetime or been in relationships with in my lifetime, regardless of their height, built like Serena Williams. We'll say, come on, you 5'11", your wife is 5'6". That's not a common. I will say, ironically enough, the mothers of my children, my 2 daughters, are shorter than me, but that ain't normally what that is. That's I'm gonna go. Y'all making me tell on myself too much. I'm not gonna keep doing that. Listen, click, like, share, subscribe. And if you find yourself in a toxic relationship, just remember the scene where the big buff brother was running away from from the slim European chick, and he was running in loafers, and she was running with her trench coat in her hand. Y'all, and she literally almost got hit by a car chasing him. He ran around the corner, and she was still chasing him. So if you don't want that in your life, so just remember that. You don't. Nobody should. So you don't do nothing else. Learn from that. Learn from everybody's mistakes. Click, like, share, subscribe. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. Peace.